three camera.
Yeah.
It was like a sitcom or something.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're gonna have to tell me which camera to look at.
Some montage and
over
everything.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need a screenplay. I'm Derek Seaver, President and CEO of the San Jose Chamber of Commerce, and it is a great pleasure to be joined today for our monthly business conversation by Jason Papier, Managing Partner of Werba, Rubin, Papier Wealth Management. After receiving his degree from Santa Clara University and his master's in wealth management from Columbia University, Jason began his career as employee 11 of a technology company backed by tech pioneer Mark Andreessen. He left to pursue his passion in wealth management in 2001, and in 2008 founded Fluent Wealth Partners. In 2017, Fluent merged with Werba Rubin to create Werba Rubin Papier, or WRP, Wealth Management, which is located in downtown San Jose. Jason currently lives with his wife and two sons in San Jose and remains active with numerous community organizations. Jason, on behalf of the San Jose Chamber, our board, and our members, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Thanks, Derek. And before we get started, I want to thank you and the Chamber as well for everything that you do for the business community downtown.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah,
It means a lot, and we're glad to partner with you in those efforts.
Thank you.
You know, to start our conversation today, I think it would be great to hear just a little bit about your personal journey and how you went from the tech community where you started into wealth management as a passion of yours, and just kind of walking our folks through what that background was.
Sure. Yeah. So I grew up in the Silicon Valley. And I kind of grew up with the Silicon Valley, right? When I grew up, there were still orchards. And so as I grew up and the Valley grew up, it became an industry town. And when I graduated from Santa Clara, it was one of those cycles that happens in the Silicon Valley where they couldn't find enough workers, right? And so if you're in law, if you're in finance, if you're in customer support, you're gonna work for a tech company at the time. And so I was lucky enough to kind of slot in there. But after working there for 3 or 4 years, I sort of realized that my passion really was working with people. I'm a servant, I think, at heart, and so I really wanted to kind of help people. So I was able to then go back to school, get qualified for personal finance, and then be able to apply my finance knowledge to individuals rather than corporations.
Good deal, and get to do what you love every day.
I get to do what I love every day, and again, it's helping people and helping their lives.
Awesome, which is a great way to go. And I think, certainly speaking for myself, maybe not many of our members who might know a little bit more about this, but I think others are like me. Wealth management kind of conjures up a lot of different thoughts. So I guess, kind of a two-part question.
Sure.
First, what is the definition of wealth management? What do you do? And then I guess specifically, how does WRP approach those topics?
Yeah, so wealth management, financial planning, there's a lot of different names for it, and there's not a great definition, but the way that we think about it is holistic planning. So we'll look at tax planning, we look at estate planning, risk management, investments. We're really looking at someone's entire financial picture and trying to get them from point A to point B, whatever their goal is in life, whether it's retiring early, whether it's leaving a legacy, whatever it might be, we sort of structure their financial lives in such a way to help them achieve it. Now, what we do, I think that's unique, is first off, we have a tax team, WRP Tax, that works with us and exists to support our clients. So having those two things together is unique, but especially, I guess, unique about us is that we work with tech pre-IPO entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So it's a very small niche, but luckily, because we live in the Bay Area, it's not that small.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's a great place to be doing that.
Yeah.
And so you are looking predominantly at the individual entrepreneur when you're
individual entrepreneurs. So a lot of founders, C-level executives at their venture-backed companies typically, and helping them plan before they have an IPO for their personal taxes and kind of maximizing their exit.
Got it. Excellent. No, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of unpacking each layer of that, I guess where I'll start is probably an understatement to say the last few years has been a volatile time in the market.
Yeah.
Really would be interested to know, and I think many of our members would be interested to know kind of what your outlook is really, next 6 to 12 months in that field, and maybe some key things to look at as we try to come out of that volatility a little bit.
Yeah, so I think there's two things that we have to consider. One is the economy and one is the stock market. People tend to conflate the two. Those are two separate things. The stock market, for instance, has been down for the first 6 months of the year. The economy was still strong the first 6 months of the year. then what we've seen is the economy more recently start to soften. And what we think the outlook is, based on the economists that we listen to, is that the economy is going to continue to weaken, and it'll probably remain below average for another 10 months. Now, how does that relate to the stock market? Again, the stock market moves ahead of the economy, so we're seeing it move already forward. But I think really important to your members may be, we've seen a lot of VCs come out to their portfolio companies and say, look, you've got to be lean, you've got to cut back right now, and because we're not going to fund you anymore this year. And so a lot of them have done that. And then you see a lot of the tech leaders, even in the area, but certainly throughout the country, getting ahead of the curve by laying people off, kind of trimming some of the excess that they have. So we're likely to see unemployment go up, which may not be a bad thing for the members, to be honest with you, because it's been so difficult to find employees.
Right.
But that's really our outlook for the next 12 months.
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess maybe drilling down a little bit then, as you differentiated for the economy, you've got a pretty good overview of it, both as a business owner yourself and then also someone who is dealing with clients that are in that space. What are you seeing right now as kind of the largest challenges to the local economy here? And then maybe on the other side of that, what's your pitch for this area? I mean, you all are located here. You're in San Jose. You've been here a while. What's your positive side of the economy?
Well, I think the challenges and the opportunities to some extent are the same, right? I mean, one of the challenges is just what I talked about. We can't find enough workers, and that's an opportunity if you're an employee to move here. And for employers, the brain trust is here. People from all over the world are still continuing to move here for opportunities. Granted, there's not enough of them, and we need more. And the challenge there is obviously affordability, and maybe some immigration issues as well. So we need more qualified people here. But again, if you're an employer, I mean, this is the place to find the brain power.
Yeah, it's a secret sauce of this area, really.
I mean,
this is what people talk about it. Yeah.
This is what makes it great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I guess kind of taking that third layer now and some of the other work that you do, going up to the federal government level, it seems like the tax code volatility with every changing administration, right? Just it's like up and down and back forth. How do you all manage through that? And I guess also, do you at all engage in that advocacy process at that level? And if so, in what way? It'd be good to kind of see inside of how those policies are written and your involvement in that.
Sure. Yeah. So the tax codes, as you said, change kind of with the political winds. Every time there's a tax code change, it's to simplify, and we know what that means is we're going to be busy for the next 5 or 6 or 7 years because it doesn't simplify.
It's full employment, right?
Full employment, right? And so, for us personally, what it means is there's different opportunities for clients. They may get rid of one opportunity, but it creates another. So staying on top of it is really important, working with tax attorneys. In terms of advocacy, we belong to local groups that advocate on a state level. Our industry is a financial planning association, is kind of our industry chapter, and they advocate on the national level.
Fair enough. Good deal. And I think, kind of coming full circle in the conversation and bringing it back to your personal side, I know a number of folks that are listening, our members that are listening, are newer in their entrepreneurial journey.
Okay,
I think
great.
you've been pretty successful in yours as you've gone through that. What advice do you have for a newer entrepreneur, newer business owner as they're pursuing their passions and trying to grow their business in the city?
Yeah, I think first off, you hit it on the head when you said passions, right? You have to be passionate about it, because being an entrepreneur, as all of the entrepreneurs in the chamber know, is a labor of love. And if you're going to be very successful in it, you're going to have to put in the time and the energy and the effort to do it, and you have to love it in order to do that. But beyond that, I would say having strict financial controls is important. Knowing your budget, investing not personally but your business dollars wisely, and being a part of the community. For me, a big part of how I grew my business was networking with maybe chamber members, attorneys in my business, right? Attorneys, other CPAs. So really get out there and get to know everybody. tell your story and be passionate about what you do.
Good deal. Jason, thank you so much again for taking the time today. And on behalf of the Chamber, thanks for taking a minute to share some of that expertise in some of those very areas, I think, with all of our members. We really appreciate your partnership, and thank you for taking the time with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right.